Thank you for watching Virginia This Morning live right here on CBS 6. Here's a question for you. Are you ready to return to that pre-pandemic life? That's a pretty big question. In this segment, Andrias White Murdaugh talks with the director of the Richmond City and Henrico County Health Departments to discuss the latest on the state's COVID-19 vaccination program and what that means for your summer plans. Here's that conversation.
More than 60% of adult Virginians have received at least a first dose of a vaccine. And that's great news, but it still begs the question, what are the do's and don'ts for summertime activities in the Commonwealth as we start considering our summertime once again? Joining us to discuss the latest on the state's COVID-19 vaccination program and other safety recommendations is Dr. Danny Avula, who heads up the state's vaccination program, coordinating with state officials. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrias. Great to be with you.
It is great to be with you as well. And this is a topic that is so important for so many of us and something I've been wondering about as well. So as you think about the mental preparedness that many of us are experiencing for that shift back to normal, is now the time to return to that pre-pandemic life?
I wouldn't say quite pre-pandemic life. Obviously, we hit a great benchmark this week, 70% of adults with one dose. We're seeing some of the lowest rates of COVID that we have at any point during the pandemic. Over the last week, 139 new cases of COVID a day for the entire state. We haven't seen rates that low since March of 2020. So things are clearly looking up. I think the combination of a lot of people vaccinated and low disease rates means that things can start to get back to normal. Probably most principally, the CDC's guidance that people who are fully vaccinated no longer need to wear masks in most settings. And so that's giving us a sense of freedom, a sense of normalcy. But the fact remains that COVID is still with us, and we've got variants that are starting to circulate here in the United States and even here in Virginia. And so there is still the need to continue getting Virginia vaccinated, but also to be cautious for those folks who cannot get vaccinated.
Absolutely. And that's a great reminder that it's not quite time to jump all the way back in. There's still a lot going on. There's still safety precautions that we need to keep in mind. And there are also parents who are thinking about what their children can do or not do this summer. So if you have children of summer camp age, if you will, is now the time to get them vaccinated?
I think it definitely is. So we, since the middle of May, have had an approved vaccine for individuals who are 12 and older. And so I would absolutely encourage every parent to get your adolescents vaccinated. I myself am a father of 5, and our 3 children who are 12 and above have all been fully vaccinated. It has definitely opened up some possibilities for them for this summer with summer activities and summer camps. And then even for our younger kids, we anticipate that we will have an approved vaccine probably sometime this fall, October or so. And so would encourage families to start thinking about that, paying attention to the data. And certainly once we get the recommendation from the CDC, we will be encouraging vaccination for younger children as well.
In addition to camps that may be, in proximity to your home, families are looking to travel and looking to kind of get away, if you will. What are your recommendations for traveling with children this summer, and how do you keep your family safe?
Yeah, I think that is something that so many families are looking forward to, is just getting back to the outdoors, going to see family. And so again, I would really encourage everyone to get fully vaccinated if they are eligible. And then if you're traveling with younger kids, there's a few precautions that you can take. One, if you're going to visit other family or friends who may not have been vaccinated, to minimize your contact with others leading up to that trip. And then to get tested. So the testing is widely available in pharmacies and practices all over the state, and you can get rapid testing to help you know whether you might have COVID or not. And then if you're deciding between an airplane trip versus a car trip, for younger kids, airlines are doing a lot of things right. They're ensuring that people are either vaccinated or requiring proof of testing. But you may opt for a safer option to do a long car trip rather than a plane ride.
A great point. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and thanks for sharing this incredible information.
No problem. Happy to do it.
For more information, visit vdh.virginia.gov.
Great conversation. And Evan, this summer is certainly already looking very different than it was just a few months ago. That's sort of an understatement. And I had a picture pop up in my memories, on that feature that they started on the phone, thinking back to last summer and what those, I have to use air quotes here, travel plans looked like. Making some great memories, but they sure looked very different last year than they do now. And that will continue to unfold, but great information.
Yeah, a lot of progress in the last several months. And I think that Andrias and Dr. Avula hit on a lot of things that families are thinking about right now, because people are heading back to travel. We got the holiday weekend coming up, and there is a lot to consider.
I catch myself often, like it being fully candid, we develop these habits. What do they say? It only takes, 90 days to develop a new habit? And we had all these habits that we have developed. And then now all of a sudden it's a gear shift and you are working at a different pace. And so now I'm kind of working on these new habits and still wanting to go to my old new habits. It's just, it's a lot to process.
Well, you are not alone, because I feel the exact same way. And I'm sure people watching at home feel the same way. It was a lot of change, but we got to get back to normal, and we're all taking steps at our own pace to make it happen.
I know. And, it is great to see when you're returning to spots that you did like to visit previously, whether those be close by or farther away, that people are able to and are getting back to it. It's not exactly the same, right? We're all recognizing that it's not exactly the same, but things are returning to some of those memories that we know and love, which is really encouraging.
Absolutely. Well, good conversation between Andrias and Dr. Avula. And coming up here next on the show in less than 3 minutes, we're going to enjoy a couple submissions straight from our inbox in our Everywhere You Are segment. We look forward to sharing those coming up next with you.